Welcome to Echoes of Hope, a place where stories remind us that no matter how dark the night feels, the morning always comes. Before we dive into today's story, please take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and share it with friends. Your support helps us reach more people who need a little hope in their lives. Now let me take you on a journey. A story of a young man who almost gave up, but discovered the power of letting go and taking just one step forward. He was 23 years old and life had already beaten him down. His father had left when he was just a boy. His mother worked 2 jobs, but even then, the house was always filled with worry more than laughter. At school, he was the quiet one, the boy with hand-me-down clothes and tired eyes. Teachers overlooked him, classmates ignored him, and deep inside, he carried a silence heavy enough to crush his spirit. When he grew older, he tried. He really tried. He started small businesses, applied for jobs, and even dared to dream of becoming someone better. But each attempt seemed to end in failure. One business collapsed. A job rejection followed another. Friends he trusted drifted away, and the weight of loneliness became unbearable. At night, he would sit on the edge of his bed, staring at the ceiling, whispering to himself, "What's the point of trying anymore? Maybe I'm just not meant to make it." He thought about giving up, on his dreams, on himself, on everything. One evening he walked to a bridge in his city. The streets were quiet, the air was cold, and his heart was heavier than ever. He leaned on the railing, looking down at the dark water below. He wasn't planning to jump, but he thought about it. He thought about how easy it would be to disappear, to stop fighting battles no one else could see. As he stood there, a stranger walked by. An old man, carrying groceries in both hands, stopped for a moment. He looked at the young man and simply said, "It's a heavy world out there, son. But it gets lighter when you take one step at a time." The old man didn't wait for a reply. He just smiled faintly and kept walking. Those words echoed in the young man's mind all night. One step at a time. He realized he didn't have to fix his whole life at once. He didn't have to climb the whole mountain that night. Maybe, just maybe, he only needed to take one small step forward. The next morning, instead of staying in bed, he got up. That was his first step. He cleaned his room, something he hadn't done in weeks. That was his second step. He wrote down 3 things he wanted to change in his life. That was his third step. Days passed, then weeks. He didn't become successful overnight. He still faced rejection, and he still stumbled, but this time, he refused to stop. Every day, he asked himself, "What step can I take today?" Sometimes it was applying for one job. Sometimes it was reading one page of a book. Sometimes it was smiling at one stranger. Slowly, his life began to change. He got a small job, not his dream, but enough to keep him moving. He saved a little money. He invested in himself, learning, growing, believing again. And 1 year later, he wasn't the same young man anymore. He wasn't broken. He wasn't defeated. He was standing taller, stronger, and full of hope. This story reminds us, you don't have to heal your whole past today. You don't have to conquer your entire future tonight. All you need is the courage to take one more step. One step out of the pain. One step away from the past. One step closer to the life you deserve. Because every small step carries an echo, a whisper of hope that grows louder with each move forward. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for walking this journey with me. Remember, no matter how heavy your story feels, there is always hope, and it begins with one step. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe for more stories on Echoes of Hope. Together, we'll keep reminding the world that hope is never lost. It only needs a voice. This is Echoes of Hope, and your next step forward starts now.